been a pleasure for me.
That's how we roll.
Get in there, Lewis.
Unbelievable.
Lewis, we never give up. We never give up. This is still on.
It's broken. It's broken.
That's for all the kids out there.
With this success, I wish you the best for the future.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Season 3 finale held here in Qatar. The first time we held a sprint race finale. We did the sprint yesterday on Wednesday and closed the gap in the Drivers' Championship to 8 points. Lewis Hamilton to George Russell. Now, of course, that means that in today's race, we need to win this race ideally, and then we need somebody else to finish ahead of George Russell in second, and with him finishing third, we will take the title. If we can hopefully get Alonso to finish second, we should take the Constructors' Championship as well. So don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell as well, so you know when future seasons are uploaded. But for the time being, we're onto the starting grid and Lewis Hamilton will line up alongside his championship rival, George Russell, on the run down to turn 1 in the final race of the season. Lando Norris and Gabriel Bortoleto are behind them, followed by Yuki Tsunoda and Callie Mayer. Then we got Lance Stroll and Ollie Behrman, with Charles Leclerc and Kimi Antonelli rounding up the top 10. Then we have Jack Doohan and Fernando Alonso taking a 10-place penalty, followed by Alex Albon and Ayrton Senna. Then it's Zach O'Sullivan and Isaac Hadjar, Jarno Otmir and Liam Lawson. On the penultimate row, it's Franco Colapinto and Carlos Sainz, with Paul Aron and Esteban Ocon rounding out the field for the final time. And this is a disaster for us. Fernando Alonso qualifying on the front row and will be starting all the way down in 12th. It will be a 2 versus 1 with us versus Mercedes into turn 1. And throughout this Grand Prix, we are going to have to fight this battle alone against an overwhelming threat, and hope that Lando Norris is going to be willing to overtake his teammate before the end of this race and steal the championship from George Russell by gifting it to Lewis Hamilton to make history as the 8th time champion. So then down to the grid we go for the final time in Season 3. And the lights are out quickly and we get underway here. It's a good start for Lewis Hamilton there as he gets away nicely. George Russell and Lando Norris under some pressure from the Aston Martins behind. Russell escapes it, but Gabriel Bortoleto trying to move his way up into third place. The Aston Martin Honda doing absolutely fantastically for the first time this season. Look at the performance that he's got there against that Mercedes in the opening stages of this race. Even Lance Stroll is up there in 5th. He's nowhere. He's third from bottom in the Drivers' Championship. A good result here today might actually catapult him up the order and secure Aston Martin some valuable points, and also Stroll some valuable points, considering where he is right now. As we watch an onboard, this is Fernando Alonso starting P12. Looks like he gets past the Renault at the start, and we've got 2 Ferraris and Ayrton Senna up ahead of him. And he slots in alongside one of the Ferraris. Is that Kimi Antonelli? Probably is. And, oh, that's Charles Leclerc, actually. But he gets ahead of him as Kimi Antonelli and Ayrton Senna go wheel to the double right-hander. You can see the battle with Norris and Bortoleto going on right at the front of the field as well. And that is how things have stayed for the time being. Lewis Hamilton now defending from George Russell into turn 1 as we come onto lap 2. We are stuttering down the pit straight, unfortunately, but we are defending as much as we can. We've got a long race to go, though, and we can afford to sit behind that Mercedes if things are going to go well for us later on. But we're going to come back at him anyway into the double right-hander, and we're back into the lead. Hopefully, if we could battle away with him, we can push him into the back, or push him back into Lando Norris. And if we can push him back into Norris, we should hopefully get Norris to overtake him and drop Russell into third, which we need him to finish there to win the championship. Bortoletto also not far off, so he might actually be a part of this as well later on. But into turn 1 we go on lap 3. Again, George Russell trying to find a way up the inside into turn 1. Forces us a little wide there. And we come back at him into turn 2. But the Mercedes, even though running off circuit slightly, gets the better line. And we run into the back of Russell there, chiseling away the front wing just a little bit and run wide, getting the pass done. But we are still ahead. And that has allowed Lando Norris, who is the fastest man on track at the moment, to close all the way back up. But also Gabriel Bortoletto, only 1.5 seconds behind Lando Norris, could still jump into the mix here. As you can see on the minimap, the gap is pretty marginal. As Russell now, again, goes past. And this time he gets the move done on lap 4. Around the outside this time for the Mercedes. But let's stay on board as we... oh no, we're not going to go on board. We're going to skip to lap 5. George Russell sets the fastest lap. And we try to close in with just the DRS here as we're running a little low on battery. And we're going to try and get around the outside of him here. The move that he did on us just now. And it looks like we have done it. The hot lap mode is on at the moment. I think that's because I've forgotten to turn it off from the start. So we're running a little low on ERS. Eventually, I will discover that I've left it on and switch it back off, though. That's not going to be yet, though. By the looks of things, it's still on. As we come out of the final corner with a worryingly low amount of battery. But not a big enough amount of a lead over Russell, who I think might have another go at us now into turn 1. He's looking to the inside again. Russell goes by, and we've now switched back to medium deployment, so we should actually be able to harvest some more energy across the course of this lap, and that energy is already coming back up nicely as we follow Russell into the double right-hander. Can we do anything to come back at him here? Look at the closing speed through the second part of the corner, and we make a dive bomb up the inside. Lewis Hamilton back into the lead again on lap 6 of 29, and we watch the onboard here, the rear-facing camera from George Russell as the dive bomb is made, and we force Russell to open the steering up just a little bit there and give us the place. But of course, it's short-lived. Here comes Russell again. Lap after lap, he is coming back past us. And now even Lando Norris is having a look as well. Up the inside he goes and runs us towards the edge of the circuit. We tuck him behind. Lando Norris, the 3 Britons fighting this out over a constructor's title and the driver's title right now. Norris trying to help his teammate. Russell trying to win this damn thing. And also Norris trying to beat Fernando Alonso for pride in 3rd place. As we come through the hairpin, we'll follow on with these 2. Quick check up on the tyres there. 20% down already on lap 7. So we need to be careful. We're not using them too much as we now watch George Russell defending from his own teammate now. This was unexpected as there's contact there. George Russell not needing this to pick up that championship from his own teammate. Lando Norris potentially causing some damage to both cars, and we'll have to see if that plays out into anything later on. I mean, I'm sitting here hoping that they actually do crash into each other once again and maybe even take each other out as we dive up the inside of Norris now into the hairpin. A bit of oversteer there as we get up over the curve, but we managed to pull away out of the corner quite nicely. Are we going to have to give it up, though? Yes, we do. Norris having that better line through there, and that oversteer costing us that place. For now, though, we're still only at 1/3 distance as we come through towards those double right-handers and rejoin at the end of the lap. With the DRS tow, we are now back past Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso, making up some more positions further back. Now on the back of Lance Stroll. And this will be no contest as he overtakes his former teammate into turn 1. There he goes. Also, Antonelli and Behrman having a little battle behind the Ferraris and McLarens battling over the final points. How the mighty have fallen. The Aston Martins rising up and pushing McLaren even further down as they struggle to do much of anything, it would seem. They started Season 2 as our championship rivals fell off a cliff and apparently have just forgotten to develop the car at all for Senna and Behrman this season. And it's only getting worse. So we get a nice switchback there on George Russell, and I think we're about to pick up a fastest lap as well. No, we don't just yet, but it's a 1:21.5 personal best as we go down towards turn 1. And Norris again on the attack, trying to go up the inside of George Russell. No contact this time, but that's going to cost them and build us a nice cushion to the two behind us. Now they drop down out of the DRS window, and that could cost Russell quite nicely, but we do need Norris to get by before the end of the race. As we now follow Yuki Tsunoda, who apparently is driving... We can see his body. That is Yuki Tsunoda's body inside the car. I didn't even know Codemasters even bothered to put legs on those characters, but I just saw legs. Unbelievable. Apparently, whatever's going on with that livery there has made it slightly transparent, but we'll ignore it for the time being. Fernando Alonso, not interested in what Red Bull are doing to reduce drag, goes past Tsunoda on the straight. Looks as though Mayer has just taken 4th away from Bortoleto, who has held on for 12 laps nearly onto that 4th place. And once again, we join the battle for 4th. Mayer's actually pulled out a bit of a lead here, but Fernando Alonso is about to come through and ruin Bortoleto's day with another pass brewing in the tank. Through the final corner he goes. I think I can see the legs of Gabriel Bortoleto as well. Maybe that's part of the reason we're getting so much stuttering, is the cars are transparent. But up the inside he goes, and Fernando Alonso up into P5 now. About 5.5 seconds off the leaders as we come in for the pit stops. And speaking of the pit stops, our pit crew are fucking useless. So this could be a good opportunity for Alonso to try and close up on us or either of the Mercedes if they have any problems. Norris and Alonso stay out. Incredibly, when it mattered the most, the pit crew have been able to change all 4 tyres without ballsing it up. And we are going to come out on a quiet circuit in P8. We've got quite a bit of a gap to Ayrton Senna ahead of us. And on the following lap, in comes Lando Norris. Our crew are out as well to receive Alonso in just a second. It's a good stop for Norris. He's away nicely. Peels in behind Alonso. He then goes into his garage. And Norris, where does he come out? We're not going to see as we're coming down the pit straight. Norris coming out of the pit lane. Russell dive into the inside. Makes contact with us through turn 1. Very, very minor damage, though, I think, if any. And tries to find a way through into turn 2, but doesn't have any luck. And we knew what must be done. We've slowed down the pack. Lewis Hamilton holds up the Mercedes all the way to lap 18 to allow Lando Norris to close that, to allow Fernando Alonso to close that 5-second gap that it was down to after the pit stops. And now it is a 4-way fight with 11 laps to go. Alonso versus Norris versus Russell versus Hamilton. First and third decided in the Drivers' Championship in this battle. The Constructors' title at stake as Alonso goes to the inside of Lando Norris and dispatches him nicely. We defend off George Russell ahead, who tried to make his own move past Hamilton through turn 1. And now Russell is vulnerable inside the Slothz sandwich. There's nowhere to hide now for George Russell in this Drivers' Championship. After all this time, we fended off both of these Mercedes cars. It is now his turn to suffer. at the hands of us and Fernando Alonso, as we are entering hot lap mode and try to bridge a gap of 1 second to leave him vulnerable to Alonso behind. We're still at 8 tenths, but can we make up enough time through the final sector? It's currently not good enough. He's actually closed up massively there somehow, but through the triple right-hander we go. Half a second is the lead, up to 6 tenths. Can we keep it flat through the penultimate corner? Who knows? But it's up to 7 tenths, nearly 8 tenths. Can we get the DRS to break, or can Alonso just make his way past on his own as we come down the pit straight? He is going to get the DRS, but Alonso is all over the back of him. Fernando Alonso, this is to defend our championship title, up the inside of George Russell, denying him the championship. The battle continues through turn 2. Can Fernando Alonso get ahead? Can he stay ahead for the remainder of the Grand Prix? We need Russell to finish third or worse if we take this victory. And Alonso's through. Up the inside he goes. And this could be the end of George Russell's championship. The man that decided that Nico Hülkenberg would win against Max Verstappen last season in Abu Dhabi, who took away that position from Max Verstappen, gifted Nico Hülkenberg the title, has now dropped back to third to lose his own championship fight here in Lusail, as now Fernando Alonso has a go at us, and we don't need this to happen at all, because this is the opposite of what we want to happen. But we are capable of getting back past him, and it must be said that this is Fernando Alonso's final race in Formula 1. He deserves to lead this race once again. After winning in Japan, he won the sprint and the full race in Brazil, and now he has helped win us the title. It's a 2-second gap now to George Russell behind us. Alonso has towed us along through the circuit, out of harm's way. The hero of Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso. Now we bid him farewell as we come onto the pit straight. The DRS is open, and Fernando Alonso will move aside and allow his teammate Lewis Hamilton to make history. Maybe he doesn't. He goes side by side, makes a little bit of contact there, just for old time's sake. But off we go to take the 8th Drivers' Championship for Lewis Hamilton. And Fernando Alonso is the man that helped us get there on lap 26 of the finale of Season 3. Fastest Sector 1 it is for Lewis Hamilton in this last-ditch attempt to claim a fastest lap. Through the slowest section of the circuit we have gone. This time our line is tidy as we ride the curbs through here. Marginally within the track limits, I would say, there as we come through towards the double right-hander. Sector 2, what will the time be? Will it be purple? It is purple as we come through the triple right-hander. Will we keep it flat through the penultimate corner? That is the question. Is it even worth it at this point? We do it anyway. Hamilton still keeping it on the track. Flat through the final corner. Through the penultimate corner. Into the final corner we go. It's a 1:21.468 to beat for our personal best. And it's a fastest lap for Lewis Hamilton. A 1:20.231. Absolutely annihilating every other time that has been posted during this Grand Prix. And through the final corner we have gone. 3 seasons of F1 25 have now been completed. There might be a Season 4, I don't really know. I haven't filmed anything yet. So maybe there will be, maybe there won't be. There's some pretty weird driver changes which have happened as Yuki Tsunoda finishes, or DNFs on the final lap. Yeah, weird driver changes have happened. If we do go ahead with it, it will be a bit weird. But maybe we will. I'll have to see if I can cram in a bunch of recording sessions before F1 26 comes out. But as we return to this season, and indeed the F1 25 season so far, Season 1, this car took Taylor Barnard, the rookie, from rookie Formula 1 driver to Formula 1 world champion. He's not raced since. Season 2, Nico Hülkenberg, the veteran of Formula 1, who had never got a podium before that season, was catapulted into a battle with Max Verstappen and won that championship at the final race. And now this car has made history as it crowns one man, the greatest of all time, 8 world championships to Lewis Hamilton as he crosses the line. Fernando Alonso helped us get there. There he goes into retirement. And George Russell, his hopes and dreams have been squashed in the final race. The man who led the championship from the first race of the season has been defeated, and Lewis Hamilton enters the history books as the greatest of all time. And of course, who are we going to race as next season? That is the question. I didn't exactly think that we were going to get this far, so it might actually be Hamilton again. We'll have to see. We've also got some drivers who have been on the sidelines for quite some time who we might bring in. But that's all for Season 4, I guess, if it happens. I don't know if I've ever done a Season 4 before. We'll have to see how things go. And here are the final results for the race weekend. Lewis Hamilton picking up maximum points. Fernando Alonso picking up 23 points, coming second overall, with George Russell coming third. Lando Norris, Gabriel Bortoleto, Charles Leclerc, Lance Stroll, Ayrton Senna, Callie Mayer, Kimi Antonelli and Ollie Behrman all scoring here this weekend. And over to the Drivers' Championship. Of course, we know that Lewis Hamilton won, but it was just by 2 points over George Russell, who led the championship from the beginning. Fernando Alonso takes third place away from George Russell on behalf of Slothz there. Charles Leclerc finishes ahead of Ayrton Senna in 5th and 6th. Then we've got Callie Mayer beating Kimi Antonelli, Yuki Tsunoda and Gabriel Bortoleto in the top 10. Further down the order, we have Ollie Behrman, Jack Doohan, Isaac Hadjar, Lance Stroll with a great final race result, pushing himself up to 14th. Then Alex Albon, Paul Aron, Zach O'Sullivan, Liam Lawson, Esteban Ocon, Jarno Opmeer, Carlos Sainz and Franco Colapinto. And it's a Slothz victory in the Constructors by 6 points over rivals Mercedes on 525 points to 519. Behind them, it's Ferrari on 239, followed by Red Bull, who beat out McLaren for 4th. Aston Martin finished ahead of everybody else. Renault, Rodin, Williams, TJ Haas and Audi make up the rest of the field. And that's all for this season. I'll potentially catch you in the next one.